All right, this is day 3. I'm really proud if you're here. 3 days, it's almost halfway there. And today is really going to hopefully open the floodgates and allow you to experience the beauty and the ecstasy and the fluidity of flow. Flow is really the uninhibited connection to your creative inspiration, to your imagination, to the source of all your work. And jazz musicians do it, comedian improvisers do it, sportsmen and extreme athletes have to do it all the time, because it really is about being in the moment and responding, not with a preconceived set of rules, but however you can to serve what's happening in front of you. How can you really seize the opportunities and be directly responsive to what's happening around you? And the beautiful thing is, it seems so relevant. Everyone around you is witnessing the creative state in flow, and they can almost see it like a chef in the kitchen mixing the ingredients together. They're watching it form in front of them, and it's really awe-inspiring.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Okay.
Not up in here!
So when I teach freestyling, I often break it down into 3 component parts. The first one is content, the second one is wordplay, and the third one is flow. Content is the meaning of what you're saying. The second one, wordplay, is really just the words and the letters, the grammar, the sounds, devoid of meaning, and not necessarily having to have a flow or musicality. The flow one is about the rhythm, the timing, in which you are speaking and not really wanting to be over the top, but at the same time you want to go to a point where this is going to be fine. Alright, so it's the musicality, it's the flow, it's like the shapes of the whole sentence as opposed to any one word. The next exercise is called word surgery. So it's simply taking a word and looking at the grammar, the letters, how it's composed. And I'll do one for you now. I'm sleepless. I'm slopeless. Coated in the hopeless prognosis. Nisus. Nisus. It's the nicest slice of the dice wrist. Slit, slot, slap. The domestic violence version of trying to not get sunburnt. Some learnt. Some got turnt. Some turned over in their graves because they're sleeping. But I'm sleepless. I'm slapless. I'm peaceful pacifist. I'm an action fist about to be raised. About to be lowered onto bed, onto pillows or gallows. Galileo still didn't have the right reflective connection in his retina, or cornea, cornucopia, or Cornelius. Sassafras, simple action pack, a backpack with a rolled up pillowcase and a sleeping bag. I've got heaping bags under my eyes, or thunder under my mind, or sometimes I'm wondering, winding backwards towards the start, but in the beginning I was asleep in the amniotic sac, and when I get back in the sac, into the amnion, so that I can go to sleep.
So, challenge 1, word surgery. It doesn't have to be spoken, it can be using any medium you like, but it's really about picking some word, some spell that you cast on yourself over and over again, some terminology, some language that you associate with your creative practice, and really dissecting, stretching, reflecting, re-evaluating, taking it from a different angle or different aspect, just part of it or all of it or repeated. How else can you reinvent this language you use? With our second challenge, we're going to look at disrupting a flow. So a usual thing you do, it could be a way you communicate, or a certain way you go to work, or a habit, or anything that is a tried and tested routine, a well-worn path. We're going to try and disrupt it. That can mean interrupting it, diverting it, redefining it, reversing it. Just see what happens and what other avenues, other opportunities, and other releases you find when you disrupt a usual flow. So our final challenge for today is repurposing a communication channel. We have a lot of different particles or items, ideas, objects, things that we flow along communication channels. They could be love notes, opinions, status updates, money, our voice, an intention, a request for a date, all the different things that we flow along channels, and there's an expected channel to flow them along. It could be your Tinder, Facebook update, someone at the shops that's going to take your money, a taxi driver who's going to hear your instruction. So the challenge is to repurpose a communication channel by flowing an unfamiliar or different particle along it. So you could, for example, go to the shops and give someone a love note instead of giving them money to get an object. Or instead of putting your status update on Facebook, maybe you can put your status update on one of those, have you seen this dog A4 bits of paper, and stick it on a telegraph pole. So we're just repurposing a usual communication channel by putting a different form of communication on it.
Here's a number. Psych! That's the wrong number!